Hey, what is going on, guys? My name is D-Free. Welcome back to another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle video. Today, we're going to go ahead and talk about the Extreme Tech Leader, or Super Tech Unit. I don't know yet. What I mean by that, I'll explain in a second. And a team for the supposed Extreme Tech Leader. So, my point is they basically have the kanji for this Broly as saying Super Tech, meaning he's a Super Tech unit that would fit on the Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks team, Goku team, you know, that team. But we, with common sense, know that that's probably not the case. He's probably the Extreme Tech Leader. That's probably a typo. He's probably the equivalent to Super Saiyan 3 Goku, you know, the Extreme Leader for that team. So the issue with that, though, is that's clearly them banking on the fact that Broly's popular, because unless he drops with a new support, like, they haven't done it in a while. Unless he drops with a brand new unit catered specifically to his team's going to have inconsistencies, which we'll talk about that in the team building video. The last time they did that was for Super 17. They brought out that other AGL 17 that was a key supporter, had Fierce Battle, the trench coat one, and he fit seamlessly on that team. And they haven't done that for any other unit, I don't think, where they brought somebody out specifically to go with him on that team because the team is lacking. So that's cool. And that's why Extreme AGL is one of the more cohesive teams. But the problem with that is, you know, like I said, Broly is here. He's not the best choice for this. I'm going to be completely honest in this video. You guys know I'm not going to bullshit you. You know, I'm not going to give you any fake emotion or fake excitement. I'm not. That's not my MO. It never has been. And I'm sorry if it sounds like I'm not being positive and all you care about is positivity. I value honesty over those type of things. So I feel like Broly is simply to cash in as the leader, because, you know, the other characters, no matter how much people like to see them, 17, Kid Buu, those leaders, even to a lesser extent, Cooler, right? And how fun their teams are, they're not marketable. And I'm going to give you some real shit here. Not marketable for Bandai or for us as YouTubers. That's kind of why you don't really see them that often. They don't get very many views, so we can't satiate that very often. And I'm sorry, but that's cold hard facts. That's just what it is. I don't know the exact, I'm not going to say it as far as Bandai is concerned, because I don't know their sales for that, but I'm pretty certain, because the response was a lot of people just weren't even going to bother to pull for them, whereas everybody pulled for everything else. So that being said, that's what Broly's here for. And which, by the way, I actually will be, I say this on the heels of this, I might as well say it now. I do have like 3 Extreme Leader videos recorded. I just haven't released them yet. I'll be releasing them sometime this week, maybe. One for 17, another one for 17, but a different team scenario, and Extreme STR, which is another one. All the villain leads get the same treatment, to be honest, just because they're not very popular in the community. Janemba is very fun to play with, though. So anyways, moving on. This guy's coming out, and then this free Broly, who has a couple of different uses. He actually is used to farm the super attack of LR Broly, and can he farm any other Broly? No, he can't. He himself was a solid free unit, though, for a long time, but he's just not anymore. He's outdated, very outdated. But he's going Super Saiyan 3. It shows that he's getting the Rebirth link instead of Fierce Battle, which could suck. I hope he gets Fierce Battle and not Rebirth from the Broly mission. I mean, like, why? But, you know, he won't really fit very well in his team either. Extreme Physical, that's not really a Saiyan-centric team. They do have Saiyan options, but that's not his team. So, I mean, they have, like, the other previous God Lead Broly. They have this Vegeta. They have Goku Black. They have this Goten. They have him. Excuse me. Right here. I was actually, honestly, making an Extreme Physical Saiyan team, so I don't know when that'll drop, but I'll probably wait for this Broly now. So they have options there, but let's go ahead and talk about the Extreme Tech team. There's actually a couple of different variations I've whipped up here. This was my initial one. I was actually going to do this. I actually recorded this video already. This is my second attempt at it, but I'm actually going ahead with this. And by the way, any unit that you see here that isn't in the other one, like the Buu or anything like that, that's just because I've streamlined it a little bit. There may be the same number of units at the end, but it's a little easier for me to handle. So that being said, Buu, 13, it's Android 13, I assume. I'm pretty sure. Cooler, Nova, Frieza. I just woke up, excuse me. Anybody else here that you see sell anybody else. Anybody else that you see here that I don't have here, consider them a solid option for the team. If you don't have something that I'm going to come up with, if you don't have it, feel free to plug in one of those units that you feel fits best, right? That's what I hope that you're able to do at this point. I've been doing these team building videos. They should show you the mindset when it comes to building a team that is able to sustain. And you should be able to kind of handle that. So this is what I've come up with so far. We're going to break it down. The physical Broly is there as a placeholder for Super Saiyan 3 Broly, because the assumed link set that I have for him is that he's going to share pretty much all the same links, except probably drop Prepare for Battle for Over and a Flash, which, God, I hope that they don't do that, but I know they will because they always do. They don't let these units have Prepare for Battle and Over and a Flash if they're a Super Saiyan 3 unit. They'll let, like, Vegito Blue and Gogeta have it, but they won't let anybody else have it. So hopefully Broly is the first one, but assuming he isn't, which is most likely, they'll do that, and then they'll put on Fierce Battle on him. No, this Broly already has Fierce Battle. They'll drop something else for limit-breaking form. Probably Saiyan Warrior Race. They'll probably drop that if this Broly has it. I'm pretty sure he does. Let's see what he has, actually. He has Saiyan Lineage, Saiyan Warrior Race, Super Saiyan, another one key link. Can't think of what it is. Too damn early. Don't care. Berserker, Prepare for Battle, and that's Fierce Battle at the bottom. So, yeah. That's what they'll do. So, as much as I hate Bio Broly, right? I went off on a tangent on him in the previous video that I tried to record, and yeah, as much as I hate him, I will acknowledge one thing. He is there as, you know what? His main purpose on this team is not even to be a tank, because that's one thing I didn't acknowledge really in my breakdown video, because I hate the unit, hate his gimmick. I know why he has the gimmick. I still hate it. Doesn't mean I have to like it. Like I said, this is a very honest video. And, I don't really see any real plus to this unit. What he does beneficially, which is increase defense, he takes away from you by losing offense. They didn't have to nerf his offense like that. They could have said, okay, no attack increase, 100% defense up. 50% attack increase, 75 defense up. They literally went out of their way to take the offense away from him, in which in the other scenario he'll have offense but he'll lose his defense. I don't understand this unit. I understand the point, but in game he's just not very, as far as the passive goes, that's too inconsistent. So that being said, he's on the team surely for two reasons, because I can't help but think that he'll probably eclipse like 40,000 defense, 35, 38,000 defense. I don't know the calcs, not really going to bother to do that. But in that scenario, he'll be able to tank normal attacks well enough to be the main tank on this team. Aside from Mass Saiyan, he'll probably be in that same area as far as defense goes. You don't have a traditional like damage mitigation tank on the team that says percentage down. You just have these defense up fake tanks, as I like to call them. The guys that get the high defense, LR Piccolo, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, Goku, high defense, Cooler, you have those guys. So that works for this, and Broly's on the team surely because he's one of the only Super Saiyans this unit group has, and that basically justifies any issue that he has on the team, because the realization or the reality is that this team's going to be carried offensively 95% of the time by the Broly leader and maybe Mass Saiyan. So there's that. And he also has Saiyan Lineage, which does allow him to have one key with Broly and Mass Saiyan. So Super Saiyan and Saiyan Lineage, and also Berserker. All three of them share Berserker. So, that may be a link that we get to see on this team. It's very uncommon. It's, what is it, a 20% attack increase? It is 20% attack increase. Yeah. So, well, this is Mass Saiyan and Broly's link set right here that is showing me. Saiyan Warrior Race, Saiyan Lineage, Berserker, Prepare for Battle, which is going away. Saiyan Warrior Race probably too, which, it's 700 attack. It's not even a big deal anymore. Super outdated link set, but every little bit helps. So maybe hopefully they don't take that away. And Fierce Battle at the bottom. So, yeah, 20% attack up when you're below 50% of your HP. So that may be something that we see between those three, and that will kind of help with the fact that Bio Broly does not have Fierce Battle sometimes, because that will be a detriment. If you look at this top 5, that's honestly what I initially was thinking the team would look like. And I'm going to give you a second variation. The reason why I did it again, to be honest, aside from the fact that I wanted to streamline it, was because I completely forgot this cell. I didn't include him in my list. So I wanted to give my thoughts on it because I know I was going to get questions on it. I know I'm going to get questions on it. So that's why. So I'm going to give you two team variations. Initially, my team came down to these guys right here. And it was between, can you stop? I'm not clicking anything. All right, it was between those 5 and then these 2 for the last slot. I know it seems funny to consider the Gohan over the Merge Zamasu because it's freaking Merge Zamasu, right? But the logic is Broly and Bio Broly assumed will be starting at 7 key on one rotation. Broly and Mass Saiyan, if they're on another rotation, will start at 7 key. So the trade-off is they'll have Fierce Battle one time. This time with this rotation, they won't have Fierce Battle, but they'll have Super Saiyan instead. And then you'll have 2 key supporters, which will spawn. There's 3 turns, right? Or there's 3 different rotations at all times. So what will happen is these 2 are 3 key supports. One offers 40% attack and defense here. This one offers just 25% attack, which is fine. Those are both fine. 3 key is the main point there. So what will happen is you'll get a turn where you have the rotation of Mass Saiyan and that Broly friend and this guy. And the next turn, you'll have a rotation of Bio Broly and your Broly and this guy. Then the following turn, you'll have a rotation again of Mass Saiyan, the Broly friend, but instead of these 2, because they've already been used, it'll be one of these 2. So when you get one of these 2, you have a scenario where everybody is starting off at 7 key if you do this, or 7, 7, and 6. I think it's 7, 7, 6 actually. The Broly and Mass Saiyan will start off at 7 for Saiyan lineage, and the Merge Zamasu starts at 6. Unless I'm miscalculating. Either way, they both start off with a lot of key needed, and that may not sound like a lot. That's it's easy to say, oh, that's just 3 orbs, tech orbs, or what. It's not that easy for all 3 units. It's not, and it's very inconsistent. So that's where the play would come into play because he offers 3 key. By the way, he's a free unit, so he's farmable. He has 3 key. He has Super Saiyan, which is another plus. He has 3 key and 30% of defense, which does kind of it does kind of suck a little bit. But the way I say that that's a positive is that these 2 fake tanks here, and maybe Broly needs to a lesser extent, but these 2 fake tanks, they'll benefit from the additional 30% that this guy will offer defensively. I'm pretty sure it's 30%. It is 30%, yeah. So they'll benefit from that. He does have Super Saiyan, which if you look at his team, there's not any Fierce Battle here. There's 1 rotation with Fierce Battle, and plus to running him is you'd have that Fierce Battle in there. So unless the Broly supers earlier, honestly, for the most consistent, cohesive team, I am going to say that's the case, unless like they do what I said earlier, where they add a new unit in specifically to fit on this team, because I know that they know this team is really incohesive. Unless they do that, it's like another 2 or 3 key support. Even 2 is fine. And he offers attack and defense support, whatever he does, similar to the Trenchcoat Android 17 AGL unit that came out with Super 17. Gohan, in my opinion, takes that slot until another 3 key support pops in. Another option, for that can kind of fill the same need is Super 17. Problem with Super 17 is I value the flat number as opposed to the number of orbs on this setup because it could be inconsistent because he changes orbs to tech orbs, which is a form of key support, but it could be inconsistent, whereas Gohan's always going to be consistent. Everybody's going to start off with, 10 key? 10, 10, and 9. I think Gohan himself starts off with 9 key, so that's good enough for me. And he has Super Saiyan with those 2, the Broly leader, and then this guy, he doesn't share anything with Mass Saiyan, but still offers him 3 keys, so it doesn't really matter too much. So that would be what I would come up with, honestly. If you wanted the extra output at the expense of, something like that, you could include Merge Zamasu. Honestly, I don't know the calculations, but Merge Zamasu may be a harder hitting unit than this Bardock is, Mass Saiyan is on this team. But it's all would depend on the potential system as well. So, yeah, that's the first variation for the team I would have. And Vegeta has Over in a Flash, which would be a link set that the 3 key, the Super Saiyan 3 Broly would have, but extreme damage is just, it's very unappealing, and that would only be beneficial for that Broly. And he only the only other link he would offer is Super Saiyan, I believe, or he has another link in there. What is that? Saiyan Warrior Race. Oh my God, 700 attack. Don't care. And that would make this Gohan a better option because he can kind of simulate having that by offering 3 ki anyway, like he had over in the Flash, but he doesn't because he still gives a 3 ki. Still gives the Super Saiyan, and then he also is able to give the defensive improvement, which helps out everybody. It's not all about offense. This team is probably going to net being one of the weaker hitting teams in the game unless Broly is just transcendently hard hitting. So that's where my options come in. And as always, if you don't have something, feel free to plug in another unit that you see on this page, on this side of the page, left side of the page, right side of the page, whatever, in comparison to what I have, you know, formulated. Turles is actually a very good unit for this. Very, very solid unit. He's self-sufficient too, which helps him. It doesn't help anybody else, but it helps him. So, and he gets an attack and defensive improvement now with his rebirth. So Turles is a solid option. But let's kind of narrow this down. I'm going to show you guys a couple of different variants I've come up with. And the second variant will look better. It's more aesthetically pleasing, but I don't know about the consistency part of it. And that's my main thing. When you look at my team building videos, it's all about consistency and cohesion. So a second variant would look something like this. These two would be off. You'd slide in these 3, actually. I think that's enough there. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, let's go ahead and knock off the Gohan and Majin Vegeta. Okay, so it will be leader, Bio Broly because the link set. As funny as it is. So, and then your 2 supports. These are all the guys with guaranteed slots. You're not going anywhere without the 40%. So those 4, and then 2 more of these guys. You can honestly, the better 2 out of, I don't know why it's like freaking glitching. It's driving me bananas. It's fucking crazy. The better 2 options for this out of these 4 consistency wise would probably be Cell and this guy. The problem with running Cell is he's going to be an off rotation unit. Well, he could be on rotation, but he'd be on rotation with Broly, in which I guess that wouldn't be that big of a deal because you can generate orbs with that guy. And it's kind of the same scenario as I was talking about with Gohan, where every turn you have support. So it's not that big of a deal, to be honest. And he at least would share Fierce Battle there. And he shares a couple links with this guy. But I've come to realize recently that it doesn't matter if he shares link with other support, with other off-rotation units or whatever. So unless he's on rotation, you know, it doesn't really matter, which that's up to you as the player. But he does share some links with those 2, and that's cool. So you could do something like that. TEQ is going to be largely inconsistent. He's going to, like, if you've seen my videos for Super Saiyan AGL Gotenks on Mono AGL, honestly, Cell is going to be the same type of unit. He requires orbs to hit hard and tank well. He's going to do the same damn thing. If you don't like that unit on that team, you're not going to like him on TEQ on this team. TEQ is going to hit harder, has a better ki multiplier, but it's still the same damn concept. They're both 2 orb-heavy units that fit the same point. So you can do something like that, or slide in Merge Zamasu or Mass Saiyan on that team instead of one of those guys. So that's pretty much it. And like I said, as always, if you have options, don't have options. Say your team consists of, you know, something like this. I mean, that's fine, right? Like just something like that. That could be your team. I mean, it works well enough, right? He's bottom 6 here, you know, or you can focus more on Saiyan build. You can build a more Saiyan-centric team. You have the leader, you have Bio Broly, you have these guys. That's fine, right? Whatever you have, independently of your box. Just look at my videos as like a blueprint and come up with what works best for you. So anyways, hope you guys had an awesome day, and I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, in which I actually kind of meant to include him. That's actually not a bad team right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's actually really not a bad team. I just kind of threw units together. That's not a bad team. Wow, I should stop overthinking these things, especially if you don't have this guy, which do I have this guy? No, I don't. I didn't bother to summon on the tech banner. I don't even have TN. I stopped freaking spending on Dokkan, to be honest. Unless I'm doing like a summon video, I'm not really summoning at all. Which I will do one for Broly. But anyways, hope you guys have an awesome day and enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider subscribing. Have an awesome day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.